You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
Good morning, this is Mike Lodge. Hope everyone's good. Everyone's doing, fairly well out there. Getting on with life. I tell you, over the last few days, I've done podcasts that were kind of serious and kind of depressing at the same time, but it was something that needed to be said, especially for those of you who feel that you're lonely, who feel that you're alone, and for those that need to forget about government and start doing things for your own communities. So that was my last two podcasts. So this morning I thought, well, why not share a plan that I have for 2022? And it's a doozy of a plan. Over the last few months, I've been watching these individuals who have been enjoying life. Still conducting their business, but enjoying life at the same time. And what they have done is they have done what is called the Great Loop by boat. And that means that you start, at least I will start, because I'm planning on doing this Great Loop. It's something that I want to plan for 2022. I can do my business, I can do my work for clients, I can mediate from the boat, and I can do a lot of different things from the boat. But the boat will become my office for 2022. At least that's my goal. And the reason why I want to do this is because on YouTube I saw all these individuals going up the loop and enjoying life, making new friends, stopping in some of these small towns along the way up the coastline and down the rivers, and enjoying those communities and getting to know America just a little bit better. Now, here's the deal. I have been from the south of Mexico all the way up to the north of Canada. So I have done all of the west side of the United States. I know it forwards and backwards. I've lived there all my life, majority of my life. So I've been to almost all those states that go up I have been to all of the states going up. But when 2 years ago, I decided, okay, I'm going to move to the East Coast because I want to, one, get away from California, but also to explore what the East Coast has. And so I packed everything up, sold off everything in my offices in Los Angeles, shut them down, and moved everything first to South Carolina, then finally down to down to Florida. So when I got everything down to Florida, got my office all set up, getting ready to go, to start to meet people, make business associates, lockdown. COVID came in and locked down for over a year. And it literally haunted me because I was under the impression that I was going to be able to travel to the East Coast by car and see everything. That was my goal. Start from the south point down at the Keys and drive all the way up to the north until I hit the Canadian border and then stop at the Canadian border. But I wasn't able to do it. Government locked us down and everything kind of died. And it's still just barely starting to come back to life. But there were those individuals during this whole COVID time that were in their boats having a great time. They were exploring. They were making new friends. They were seeing the waterways and the ocean and everything else. And I said, you know what? I gotta change my life. I want to do something adventurous. Now, I have been all over the world, and I have been to some very adventurous places. I have met some very interesting people. But when I saw these individuals exploring the Great Loop, I said, you know what? I can do that. I just need to get the boat. I need to sell off everything that I have. So over the weekend, I started this past weekend. Over the weekend, I sold off my car. And I have another car that I need to sell off. But I got a whole bunch of stuff in the house that I need to sell off before I can find a boat and move on to it. I want to move on to a boat where I don't have anything in storage. Zero in storage. I don't care about the memories anymore. I don't care about any of that. All I want to do is just get on board a boat and begin to travel. I have my 3 dogs. They're ready to go. I've talked to them. They're all on board. But of course, they think I'm talking about food. But it's okay as long as I've got them on board with me. So they're going to be my travel mates as I do this great loop. Now, this will be a year travel time, maybe a little bit longer depending on how long I stay in each port and the weather conditions and everything else. I'm not going to do it during the wintertime, of course, because once you get up to the north, winter is hell, and I don't want to be in a boat when winter is hell. I'd much rather be 75 miles off of Florida in the Bahamas in crystal blue water at wintertime, or down at the Florida Keys at the South Port where the water is so clear that you can see everything. I'll go there during the winter. That will be my winter my winter place. But can you imagine being on a boat, having your office on the boat, just pulling to the side, anchoring, getting online because it's now satellite internet, and just be able to do my work but look at a beautiful sight at the same time? Now, when am I going to begin this? Well, I've already started, and when you have a whole bunch of stuff in the office and in the house and everything else, it takes time to sell all that stuff off. Because what I like isn't what everybody else like. I'll give you a good example. I've got 2 Peter Lick artwork. I have put that on the market for off and on for over a year. No one even wants to touch it. One, because it goes for a good price. I mean, a big price. And so that's a little bit hesitancy because people are not quite sure if they want to spend that much money on artwork. But it goes up in value. Peter Lick's stuff has gone up in value. Then I've got all of my other personal artwork that I have collected off of trips to Europe and places like that. And also to Asia. I've got some beautiful silk artwork on the wall that I collected. I just collected pieces of silk in Thailand and put it into picture frames. I've got about 30 of those. And of course there's beds, and there's desks, and there's chairs, and there's dining room tables, and all kinds of stuff. That takes time to sell. But I'm going to do it. Slowly but surely I'm going to do this thing, because you just can't sit here worrying about what the government is going to do next. I can just go ahead and put a big old box of masks inside my boat in case I have to get off and go into town. I don't mind that. That's fine. But I'm not going to be waiting around wondering what government is going to do next. I can't sit here like that. I've got to get up and I got to get going. Now, the Great Loop is really an amazing experience because there are other people that they call themselves Great Loopers that are doing the same journey. And you're exchanging stories, and you're talking to each other on the radio, and you're sometimes you're even boating together as you're going up the intercoastal waterway. Now, the intercoastal waterway, just so you understand, there is the ocean, then there is some land, then there's some water, and then there's the mainland. So you're going up that small stretch of water that goes from Florida all the way up to New York. Now, sometimes you go into the ocean because land came out too far, but then you get right back into the loop and you continue on. But can you imagine? I just can't imagine. I've seen these boats as they round the corner into the New York harbor, and they see the Statue of Liberty, and they see New York. And I said, gosh, I want to experience that. I want to feel that emotion. Now, you've got to realize that I'm doing this alone, by myself. I have no help. I'm doing this by myself. So this is going to be an achievement on my part of doing this. Now, I've got almost a half a year to know the boat, understand the boat, know the engines, know the electrical systems, being able to take it out and maneuver it with the satellite and the radar and everything else. I have time to get that under my belt before I begin in the intercoastal waterway. Now, I have owned boats before, so this isn't anything new. The last boat that I had was a 40-foot Matthews, built in 1947, all wood boat, beautiful boat. But it was a lot of work. So this next boat that I get is not going to be that much work on the outside. With a wood boat, you are working on it constantly, because wood deteriorates, especially from 1947. It deteriorates very quickly, and you have to watch it for any kind of dry rot or anything else that's going on in there. But with a fiberglass or a steel boat, you have a little bit more protection. So my goal is starting. I'm telling you guys right now for the first time, I believe. But I'm going to blog it. I'm going to film it. And I am going to podcast it. So as we're going through this trip up the Intercoastal Waterway and up through the loop, I'm going to be doing interviews with people. I'm going to be talking with people. I especially want to talk to individuals that live in these small towns and talk about what business is like there, how they cope with the downwardness of COVID, how they were affected. I want to know that maybe I can even give them some free business advice. So that is my goal. So I'm going to ask you this, okay? Follow me and leave me comments and tell me what you think as we're going on this journey together. And right now, the majority of my postings on this is in www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. All my blogs and vlogs and podcasts are all there. And of course, I'm putting all my business stuff in there also so we still have this learning ability on business and everything else. But what do you think? You think I can do it? Listen, I believe that I can do it. And I have every confidence that I can do it. Once I get the know-how of the boat down, I believe I can do it. I have been watching, listen, there's a lady in Portugal who owns a 50-foot boat, and she takes that out by herself. She comes in, she docks it by herself, she ties it up by herself. If she can do it, I can do it. Because she is a mighty lady. I tell you, I have great admiration for this person, and for her to be able to just get in the boat by herself and travel and go up the coast of Portugal, it's a wonderful life. So if she can do it, I can do it. So I have every confidence that I can do this alone. And I want to be able to explore, have an adventure, and say, yes, I did it. Now, listen, I have driven across the United States by myself. How many times now? Probably about 6 times. Because I had my I was living in South Carolina, had my offices in Los Angeles. I didn't want to rent a car while I was out there, so I drove myself across, forwards and backwards. And I made it each time. Each time I would take a different route, just so that I could see more of what America. And what you see, and the people that you meet between the East Coast and the West Coast, the individuals in between are totally different people. These are people who love life, they love their families, they love their communities, they love their church, they love just being Americans. They're totally different from the self-absorbed that we meet so much on the East and West Coast. And I encourage every single one of you, if you've never driven across America and if you haven't stopped by the small towns and the small diners and just talked with people who don't even have a cell phone on them, talk to them. Do it. Because you will learn what America is all about. So I have done both sides of this. Okay, I've gone from the south to the north and the north to the south on the West Coast, and now I need to do it from the East Coast, from the south to the north and about on the Great Loop, and learn more about what this great nation is about. It's time for all of us to have an adventure. And think about what adventure that you can have, even if it's just for a day, even if it's just for a week or a month or a year, as I'm doing it. Find an adventure, because we need to get out. We need to explore. We need to find ourselves again. We need to understand that being locked down is so unhealthy to our mental state that it's doing so much damage, and we can cure ourselves. We can heal ourselves. Listen to my other 2 podcasts and hear what I've said about getting involved. And a part of that is getting involved in our own personal lives. Finding an adventure or an objective to do. to make your lives fulfilled. There's so much that you can do to be fulfilled. Find that item, that thing, that event, that travel, that whatever it is that is going to make you feel fulfilled. And that you're communicating with people, that you're talking with people, that you're telling your friends about your adventure. This is what life is. It's not about being locked down. That's the most unhealthy event that ever touched America, or even the world, but mostly America. Because we are not stick-at-home bugaboos. We are individuals who go out and explore. That's what Americans are about. But we've forgotten what it is to be an American. We have forgotten what it is to be a human being anymore, because we have so many members of government trying to tell us what is good for us and what we should be doing. We've got to cut that out, because so far they've been wrong on every single thing that they've told us. We can no longer count on government, but we can count on ourselves. And I can count on you. And I can count on my friends. I can count on Americans. So that's what we got to do. Find your adventure. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. If you want to follow me and support me, you can go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. If you have any business questions or any type of question on mediation, send it to Mediator at Lodge, LODGE-CO.com. Listen, everybody go out and have a great day. Let me know what you think. If you've done the Great Loop before, I want to hear from you. If you've done that adventure, tell me about it, because I want to know. Tell me what the good and the bad and the ugly are. I want to know it all. Life is about experiencing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And all I have to do is look in the mirror and I see the ugly. So that's done with. So just tell me the good and the bad. Talk with you soon. This is Mike Lodge. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.